In this session, we discuss about the fast Fourier transform. Fast Fourier transform is a technique by which the discrete Fourier transform of a sequence can be obtained in a numerically efficient manner. Basically, there are two methods with which we can obtain fast Fourier transform. One is known as decimation in time algorithm, and the second one is decimation in frequency algorithm. At present, we will discuss about decimation in time algorithm. As we all know, the endpoint DFT of a sequence is given by x of k is equal to summation x of n minus 1 wn power kn with n equal to 0 to n minus 1 and k also varying between 0 to n minus 1. By expanding this equation, we get x of k is equal to x of 0 wn power 0 plus x of 1 wn power k plus x of 2 wn power 2k etc. up to x of n minus 1 wn power k into n minus 1. Since we have to vary the value of k between 0 to n minus 1, first we substitute k equal to 0 and then we get x of 0 is equal to x of 0 wn power 0 plus x of 1 wn power 0 plus x of 2 wn power 0 etc. up to x of n minus 1 wn power 0. In this way, we will be able to get all the values of DFT, that is x of 0 to x of n minus 1. And here in every equation we find n number of terms, and each term consists of multiplication of the sequence value and the twiddle factor value. Since twiddle factor is a complex number, so this involves complex multiplication. As there are n terms in each equation, we can say there are n number of complex multiplications in each equation. And since we have totally n number of equations, in each equation we have n number of multiplications, totally we require n into n, that is n square number of complex multiplications. And also in each equation we have n terms or n minus 1 additions. So as we have n number of equations, each equation has n minus 1 additions. The total number of complex additions would be n into n minus 1 complex additions. That means to obtain the DFT of a sequence x of n, endpoint DFT of a sequence x of n, we require totally n square number of complex multiplications and n into n minus 1 number of complex additions. But when we make use of the fast Fourier transform algorithms, the total number of computations can be reduced. For this, we make use of two important properties of DFT, namely periodicity property and the antisymmetric property. So according to the periodicity property, Wn power k is equal to Wn power k plus n, and as per the antisymmetry property, Wn power k is equal to minus Wn power k plus n by 2. So as I told you already, there are two basic fast Fourier transform algorithms, namely decimation in time algorithm and decimation in frequency algorithm. We now consider radix 2 decimation in time algorithm. When I'm using the term radix 2, I mean that the given sequence x of n has a length n which is given by n is equal to 2 to the power of m, where m is any integer. That means when m is equal to 0, we get n is equal to 2. When m is equal to 1, when m is equal to 1, we get n is equal to 2. When m is equal to 2, we get n is equal to 4. That means the length of the sequence x of n must be 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and so on. In this method, the DFT x of n is obtained by, first of all, the approach involves in breaking of n point transform into two n by 2 point transforms. So x of k, which is n point DFT, is first divided into two components, namely n by 2 point transform and another n by 2 point transform. Further, each n by 2 point transform is broken into two n by 4 point transform. And this process is continued until we are able to get 2-point DFTs. That means in order to get, first of all, we have n-point DFT. This is first broken into two n by 2-point DFTs, and each n by 2-point DFT is further broken into two n by 4-point DFT. And this process is continued until 2-point DFTs are obtained. In other words, n-point DFT is obtained as combination of several 2-point DFTs. Let us consider a sequence x of n of length n. So that is x of n is equal to x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, etc. up to x of n minus 1. In this sequence, this x of 0, x of 2, x of 4, etc. are even indexed values of x of n, and x of 1, x of 3, x of 5, etc. are all odd indexed values of n. Now x of k is equal to summation x of n wn power kn with n equal to 0 to n minus 1. So this consists of both even and odd indexed values of x of n. We divide this into two parts. One is the terms containing only even indexed values of x of n, and the other term containing only odd indexed values of x of n. Therefore, we write x of k is equal to summation x of n wn power kn with n equal to 0 to n minus 2, where n is even, and second term consists of summation x of n wn power kn with n equal to 1 to n minus 1, where n is odd. In order to get the even values of n, we replace n with 2r, so that for any value of r it becomes a even value. Similarly, in order to get the odd value of x of n, we substitute n is equal to 2r plus 1, so that for any r this value becomes a odd value. X of n becomes a odd value. So in the first term, that is summation x of n wn power kn n equal to 0 to n minus 2, where n is to be even number, we replace n with 2r. So when I am replacing n with 2r, obviously the limits also will change, because here the limits are with respect to n, so we have to change the limits with respect to r also. Since we are substituting n is equal to 2r, when the value of n is equal to 0, that is a lower limit, when n is equal to 0, r will become 0. And when n is equal to n minus 2, that is the upper limit, then by substituting here we get r is equal to n by 2 minus 1. That means the limits here for r will be 0 to n by 2 minus 1. Similarly, in order to get the odd indexed values of x of n, we are replacing n with 2r plus 1. So summation x of n wn power kn with n equal to 1 to n minus 1 is given by this particular equation. Here also we need to modify the limits. So then we are substituting n is equal to 2r plus 1 here. When n is equal to 1, then we get r is equal to 0. Similarly, when the upper limit is n minus 1, the value of r would be again n by 2 minus 1. Here we are able to see only n by 2, but actually it is n by 2 minus 1. Therefore, now we can write x of k is equal to summation x of 2r wn power k into 2r with r equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 plus summation x of 2r plus 1 wn power k into 2r plus 1 with r is equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1. So this term wn power k into 2r plus 1 can also be written as wn power k into wn power 2 into kr. That's the first step. And then we bring this wn power k outside and we rewrite like this. And subsequently, wn power 2 kr is further equal to wn by 2 power kr. Therefore, by substituting this value, we get x of k is equal to summation x of 2r wn by 2 power kr with r equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 plus wn power k summation x of 2r plus 1 wn by 2 power kr with r equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1. If we look at this equation, left hand side we have x of k, which is the n-point DFT. Whereas here, when we come to this particular term, the limits are between 0 to n by 2 minus 1. That means there are totally n by 2 number of terms here. So this refers to a n by 2 point DFT. Similarly, the second term also, the limits are varying between 0 to n by 2 minus 1. Again, we have n by 2 number of terms here. So this is also n by 2 point DFT. That means this n point DFT x of k is now obtained as summation of 2 n by 2 point DFT. This is one n by 2 point DFT and this is another n by 2 point DFT. So the first n by 2 point DFT here I am representing with g of k, and the second n by 2 point DFT I am representing by h of k, so that I am able to write x of k is equal to g of k plus wn power k h of k, where g of k and h of k are both n by 2 point DFTs. And here x of k, for k value we keep varying between 0 to n. So first of all, when I select k equal to 0, x of 0 is equal to g of 0 plus wn power 0 h of 0. Similarly, x of 1 is equal to g of 1 plus wn power 1 h of 1. So like that we continue. X of n by 2 minus 1 is equal to g of n by 2 minus 1 plus wn power n by 2 minus 1 h of n by 2 minus 1. The next value is x of n by 2. So when I go for this, right hand side I should write g of n by 2 plus wn power n by 2 h of n by 2. But this g of k is a n by 2 point DFT. So the values will be repeating after n by 2 minus 1. So when I go to the next value, g of 0 would be same as g of n by 2. Similarly, h of 0 would be same as h of n by 2. Therefore, we can write x of n by 2 as we can write x of n by 2 as g of 0 plus wn power n by 2 h of 0. And the next value would be x of n by 2 plus 1. That would be equal to g of 1, because the values will keep repeating now. G of 1 plus wn power n by 2 plus 1 h of 1. In this way, we are able to write the last term, that is x of n minus 1 is equal to g of n minus 1 plus wn power n minus 1 h of n minus 1. But g of n minus 1 can also be written as g of n by 2 plus n by 2 minus 1 plus wn power n minus 1 h of n by 2 plus n by 2 minus 1. But g of n by 2 plus n by 2 minus 1 is same as g of n by 2 minus 1, and similarly the second term here is nothing but h of n by 2 minus 1. Therefore, x of k, which is n point DFT, is now expressed in terms of g of k and h of k, which are n by 2 point DFTs. Now, making use of these equations, we are able to construct the block diagram here. In this block diagram, we find that there are two n by 2 point DFTs. First of all, we are selecting the even indexed values of x of n, namely x of 0, x of 2, x of 4, etc. up to x of n minus 2. Then all these inputs are applied for n point 2 point DFT. Similarly, the odd indexed values, namely x of 1, x of 3, x of 5, x of 7, x of n minus 1, etc., are performed with another n by 2 point DFT. The output of the first n by 2 point DFT would be now g of 0, g of 1, g of 2, etc. up to g of n by 2 minus 1. Similarly, the odd indexed values after performing the n by 2 point DFT, we get the output as h of 0, h of 1, h of 2, etc. up to h of n by 2 minus 1. And we know that x of 0, x of 1, etc. are all obtained as a combination of your g of 0, g of k values as well as h of k values. And from the equations we find that x of 0 is equal to g of 0 plus h of 0 into wn power 0. Then x of 1 is equal to g of 1 plus h of 1 into wn power 1. So like that, you are able to express all the values of DFT of your sequence x of k. And here we find that corresponding to this n by 2 point DFT, we require totally n by 2 whole square number of complex multiplications. Similarly, for the second n by 2 point DFT also, we require n by 2 whole square number of multiplications. So the number of multiplications here are n by 2 whole square. Similarly, the number of multiplications here are another n by 2 whole square. And then here, in order to get x of 0, we find that g of 0 is added with h of 0 into wn power 0. So here we have a complex multiplication, namely h of 0 into wn power 0. See here we have another complex multiplication, namely h of 0 into wn power 1. That means here totally we are able to get n number of complex multiplications. For the total number of complex multiplications are n by 2 whole square plus n by 2 whole square plus n. Obviously, this is equal to n by 2, n square by 2 plus n, which is definitely less than n square. N square is the total number of multiplications required for direct computation of the DFT. Thus, we find that the total number of complex multiplications have been reduced. Now, g of k and h of k are n by 2 point DFTs. They can further be decimated into 2n by 4 point DFTs. Now, let us assume that g of k, which is a n by 2 point DFT, is further written as g of k is equal to summation g of n wn by 2 power kn with n equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1. It's a n by 2 point DFT. Similarly, let us represent h of k is equal to summation h of n with n equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1 into wn by 2 power kn. This is also n by 2 point DFT. Now, this g of k, which is a n by 2 point DFT, again it is further decimated into 2 n by 4 point DFTs. So the first one consists of the DFT of the even indexed values of g of n, and the second one consists of odd indexed values of your g of n. Therefore, repeating the procedure whatever we have done earlier, we are replacing n with 2r in the first term, and we are replacing n with 2r plus 1 in the second term, and subsequently we are able to get summation g of 2r wn by 4 power kr with r equal to 0 to n by 4 minus 1, and similarly for the second term we get wn by 2 power k summation g of 2r plus 1 wn by 4 power kr with r equal to 0 to n by 2 minus 1. Now g of k is a n by 2 point DFT, whereas this is n by 4 point DFT. This is also n by 4 point DFT. So we write g of k is equal to a of k plus wn by 2 power k b of k, where a of k and b of k are the n by 4 point DFTs. Therefore, writing the different values of DFT of g of k, we can write g of 0 is equal to g of 0 is equal to a of 0 plus wn by 2 power 0 b of 0. Then g of 1 is equal to a of 1 plus wn by 2 power 1 b of 1. In this way, we can write the last value as g. I mean, since a of k is n by 4 point DFTs, g of n by 4 is equal to a of 0 plus wn by 2 power n by 4 b of 0, and that way we can continue to get g of n by 2 minus 1 is equal to a of n by 4 minus 1 plus wn by 2 power n minus 1 b of n by 4 minus 1. Similarly, for h of k also we can write down such similar equation. So h of k is equal to c of k plus wn by 2 power k d of k, where h of k is n by 2 point DFT, c of k and d of k are n by 4 point DFTs. And continuing this way, we can write different values of h of k, namely h of 0 is equal to c of 0 plus wn by 2 power 0 d of 0 and so on. Once we write these values of g of k and h of k, we can now construct the flow diagram here. Um, even indexed values of g of k are nothing but x of 0, x of 0, x of 4, like that. And then odd indexed values of g of n consists of x of 2, x of 6, etc. up to x of n minus 2. Similarly, h of k is further decimated into two parts. Even indexed values of your h of k are nothing but x of 1, x of 5, etc. And odd indexed values are x of 3, x of 7, etc. Now we are performing n by 4 point DFT for these values. Similarly, another n by 4 point DFT for these values, n by 4 point DFT for these values, and again another n by 4 point DFT for these values. So the output of the first n by 4 point DFT are a of 0, a of 1, etc. up to a of n by 4 minus 1. Similarly, for the second one, it is b of 0, b of 1, etc. up to b of n by 4 minus 1. And then for the third one, we have c of 0 to c of n by 4 minus 1. And for the fourth one, it is d of 0 to d of n by 4 minus 1. Now, after this, the a of 0 and b of 0 are combined together in a particular way in order to get the output, namely g of k's. So g of k is obtained by combining a of k and b of k. So we have n by 2 point combining algebra in order to get the values of g of k. Similarly, in order to get the values of Similarly, in order to get the values of your h of k, we need to combine c of k and d of k. So we perform n by 2 point combining algebra in order to get the values of h of k. Now further, g of k values and h of k values are combined in a suitable way in order to get the x of k values. So here we perform n point combining algebra. So let us now look at the total number of multiplications required here. Here we have to perform n by 4 point DFT. So we require n by 4 whole square number of complex multiplications. So since we have 4 n by 4 point DFTs to be performed, the total number of multiplications required here are 4 times n by 4 whole square. Then here for n by 2 point combining algebra, we require n by 2 number of multiplications. Similarly, another n by 2 number of multiplications here and n number of multiplications here. Therefore, the total number of complex multiplications are 4 times n by 4 whole square plus 2 times n by 2 plus n. So, which results into n square by 4 plus 2n, which is less than n square. That means the total number of complex multiplications are further reduced. So this process is continued until we are able to get 2-point DFTs. Now let us consider a sequence x of n which is of length 8, that is x of n is equal to x of 0, x of 1, etc. up to x of 7. Now x of k is 8-point DFT, which is now decimated into two 4-point DFTs, summation of two 4-point DFTs. So x of k is equal to g of k plus w8 power k h of k, where g of k is the 4-point DFT of even indexed values of x of k, that is x of n. Sorry. So that is g of k is 4-point DFT of x of 0, x of 2, x of 4 and x of 6. Similarly, h of k is a 4-point DFT of odd indexed values, namely x of 1, x of 3, x of 5 and x of 7. And then we can write x of 0 as x of 0 is equal to g of 0 plus w8 power 0 h of 0. X of 1 equal to g of 1 plus w8 power 1 h of 1. X of 2 is equal to g of 2 plus w8 power 2 h of 2. And x of 3 is equal to g of 3 w8 power 3 h of 3. When I go for x of 4, on the right hand side I don't write g of 4 because g of 0 to g of 3, after this the values are going to be repeated. G of 4 would be same as g of 0, therefore I write x of 4 is equal to g of 0 plus w8 power 4 h of 0. X of 5 is equal to g of 1 plus w8 power 5 h of 1, and x of 6 is equal to g of 2 w8 power 6 h of 2, and x of 7 is equal to g of 7 plus w8 power 7 h of 3. Now this g of k and h of k are the 4-point DFTs. We further decimate them into a summation of 2-point DFTs. So g of k is equal to now a of k plus w4 power k b of k, and h of k is equal to c of k plus w4 power k into d of k, where a of k is the 2-point DFT. So it is the even indexed values of your g of n. So earlier we considered for g of k, we considered the values of x of 0, x of 2, x of 4, x of 6. Again, among this x of 0, x of 2, x of 4, x of 6, even indexed values are x of 0, x of 4. Odd indexed values are x of 2 and x of 6. Therefore, a of k is the DFT of even indexed values, namely x of 0, x of 4. Similarly, b of k is the DFT of odd indexed values, namely x of 2 and x of 6. Similarly, when I go for uh, this C of k is the DFT of x of 1 and 5, whereas D of k is the DFT of x of 3 and 7. And since A of k is a 2-point DFT, we can write A of k as summation of A of n w2 power kn with n equal to 0 to 1, because it's a 2-point DFT. So that is equal to A of 0 w2 power 0 plus A of 1 w2 power k. Then when I substitute k equal to 0, A of 0 is equal to A of 0 w2 power 0 plus A of 1 w2 power 0, and A of 1 is equal to A of 0 w2 power 0 plus A of 1 w2 power 1. But A of 0 is nothing but x of 0. A of 1, there is a second element, is nothing but x of 4. Therefore, here we write A of 0 as x of 0 w2 power 0 plus x of 4 w2 power 0. Similarly, A of 1 equal to x of 0 w2 power 0 plus x of 4 w2 power 1. And then similarly we can write for B of 0, B of 1, as well as C of 0, C of 1, D of 0, D of 1 in this particular fashion. And then we construct the flow diagram here, and initially, and let us look at this. The input consists of x of 0. First of all, we are considering x of 0, x of 4 in order to get the values of a of 0, a of 1. So x of 0 and x of 4 are combined together to perform 2-point DFT to get the values of a of 0, a of 1. And let us look at this. A of 0 is equal to x of 0 plus x of 4 into w2 power 0. Similarly, a of 1 is equal to x of 0 plus x of 0 plus x of 4 into w2 power 1. Similarly, b of 0 is nothing but x of 2 plus x of 6 into w2 power 0. And then b of 1 is equal to x of 2 plus x of 6 into w2 power 1. In this way we can construct c of 0, c of 1, as well as d of 0 and d of 1. Once we are getting the values of A of k's, B of k's, C of k's, and D of k's, we combine them together once again to obtain the values of G of k's and H of k's. So G of 0 is equal to A of 0 plus B of 0 into W4 power 0. Similarly, G of 1 is equal to A of 1 plus B of 1 into W4 power 0. So in this way, we are able to get the values of G of 2, G of 3, as well as H of 0, H of 1, H of 2, and H of 3. Now, G of k values and H of k values are further combined together to get the values of the output sequence, namely x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, etc. And let us look at this. X of 0 is equal to G of 0 plus H of 0 into W8 power 0. X of 1 equal to G of 1 plus W8 power 1 into H of 1. In this way, we are able to get all the 8 values of the DFT of x of k. And we can find here that x of k, 8-point values of x of k are obtained first by computing 2-point DFTs and then combining the DFTs in a suitable way, so that finally we are able to get 8-point DFTs by making use of several 2-point DFTs. And from this diagram we can find that there are 3 stages. So this would be the first stage of output, and this is the second stage of output, and this is the third stage of output. And in this stage, this structure is called as a butterfly. This is one butterfly here, second butterfly, third butterfly, fourth. So totally we have 4 butterflies in the first stage. Similarly, when I go to the second stage, I find once again 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 butterflies here. This is one, and this is the second one. This is the third one, and this is the fourth one. So we have 4 butterflies in the second structure. Similarly, in the third stage also we have 4 butterflies. 4 butterflies are nothing but the basic building blocks of the signal flow diagram. So we find that there are 3 stages. In each stage there are 4 butterflies. Now, since we have n is equal to 8 here, the total number of stages are 3. On the other hand, suppose if we had n is equal to 4, then the number of stages would have been only 2. In general, if p is the total number of stages, then the number of stages and n can be related by using the equation n is equal to 2 power p. For example, if n is 8, 2 power 3 is 8. This is your p and this is your n. 8 is equal to 2 power 3. So that means n is equal to 2 power p. When I take logarithm of this with base 2, log n base 2 is equal to log of 2 power p base 2. So on simplification we can get it as p is equal to log n base 2. That means the number of stages can always be determined by knowing the number of elements in the sequence n. So therefore p is equal to log of n base 2. Now, as I told you about the basic building block or butterfly, the basic building block is shown in the figure. So there are 2 inputs, namely A and B here, and one output here is given by A plus Wn power R, whereas the other output is given by B plus Wn power R plus n by 2. This is called as the basic building block, or which is also known as the butterfly. And now, uh, since Wn power R plus n by 2 can also be written as minus Wn power R, this structure can be modified in this way. So the same structure we are modifying here, only thing is Wn power R plus n by 2 is replaced with Wn minus Wn power R here. So with this, the structure can further be modified as shown here. Then we can take this Wn power R to the extreme left, and then we can draw the basic building block in this particular fashion. By using this building block, we can reconstruct the signal flow diagram in this particular fashion. So by making use of this signal flow diagram, we'll be able to compute the 8-point DFT of a given sequence x of n.